Hi everyone, welcome to this new moon in Pisces reading. This is going to be our zodiac check-in for every sign. Sorry about the camera, I don't know why it's a little wobbly today. But anyway, we'll start with the three themes, and I am going to be using this new deck that I just got, which is the Forest Oracle, the Sacred Forest Oracle. It's absolutely beautiful. So we'll get three cards for what the main three themes are. This is new moon in Pisces, and Pisces is such a mystical sign. It's a water sign too, so it's very sensual, it's deep. But Pisces specifically is very mystical. It's about that connection through the veil, as we call it in esoterics, the connection with other realms, other worlds, other planets, even, you name it, through generations as well, connection with our guides, with the higher power and how we see it, right? It's a lot about our belief system in those areas also. So I'm excited about that. And then I will use the tarot deck. And this week I'm rolling with the Lightseers Tarot, but it's the classic for a reason, at least in my collection. We will get messages for each zodiac sign, and we will start with Pisces. So the messages are going to be for Sun, Moon, and Rising. I usually forget to tell you this part and the general message. And then, of course, we dive in, and there are timestamps, and you can quickly jump directly to your zodiac message. So if I'm saying it somewhere halfway through, a lot of people aren't going to get it. But this messages are for Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. So I would advise, if you only have time for one message and it's going to be a short message, then of course check your moon sign message. And we'll start with Pisces because it's moon in Pisces. But if you can, please watch for Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's going to be a much more well-rounded message for you. All right? Yeah, so there will be timestamps. And on this note, of course, don't forget to like the video. This helps me circulate these messages. Also, share your comments, share it with others. And if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Alrighty, so let's get rolling. What are the main themes for this new moon in Pisces? And I've got two cards already. The Frog Spirit, Renewal. Oh, I love this. This is especially powerful as we're only a couple of days away from spring equinox. And I talked about it in my last Twin Flame update, which I also do for those who are new to this channel and to me, to my work. But basically, this is that time of when, in the United States, it's officially when the spring begins, right? It's somewhere this week. I don't follow it because in my culture, we don't really have that. It's like when the spring month begins, it begins. But let's be honest, in the older times and pagan traditions, it was about this time, and that's when people celebrated New Year for a reason, right? That this is that reset, this is that renewal. Even in the Chinese tradition, the Chinese New Year is supposed to signify the beginning of the cycle, the beginning of spring. And that cycle starts with the spring, right? So it's a big time for the renewal. So I'm glad that it's here. The second one is Water Spirit, a little bit on the nose. Manifesting dreams. Yes, another part of Pisces energy and symbolism is the dreamland. It's connection to your dreams. It's getting answers to your questions through the dreams, interpreting your dreams, right? Writing them down, maybe starting a dream journal, right? And that could be part of your manifestation journey, right? Especially if you set intention when you're going to bed, when you're falling asleep, for what it is you want to see. Maybe you want some guidance, you have your goals, and now you want a little bit of suggestion of help. How do I get there? What is the next step? Because I have 10 different things on my list and I can't do all of them at once. So where should I start? What's important to focus on right now? And the third one is the Fourth Temple, Enlightenment. Enlightenment is coming in. It's one of the big topics these days, we just had eclipse season, and hopefully eclipse has worked out. I mean, it was a very intense time, I must admit. And it is the Pisces Virgo axis, which again includes this Pisces, this mystical land, right? And then the juxtaposition of a practical Virgo sign that is about discipline, consistency, routine, following through. But it was supposed to give us a lot of food for thought, right? Which is really enlightenment of where I am, why am I here, and where I want to be with, you know, the information that I have, or based on the life goals that I've set for myself, right? So enlightenment is coming up with this new moon. And I like that it has a connection with manifestation also, because we're talking about new moon, and new moon is a lot about manifestation and setting intention for the new cycle. You could consider it a smaller cycle, which is 28 days for the lunar cycle between the new moons, but also in a more, in a deeper, more philosophical way or spiritual way, it's a 6-month cycle between the new moon in Pisces and full moon in Pisces, right? So that's another way to look at it, that you can set up intentions and goals and vision for 6 months from now to that 6 months in, right? And then check in again, if you're writing this down, if you're journaling, check in 6 months in when we have full moon in Pisces, and see what is it that you were able to achieve. How did it turn out for you, you know? What signs and synchronicities have you seen along the way? And it's usually quite an exciting experiment to do, I would say. Okay, we got our themes out of the way, so now let's get on with the horoscope messages. It's not really a horoscope, but we are doing messages by zodiac sign. That's what I mean. And we'll begin with Pisces. So, and remember, this is for sun, moon, and rising of your sign. What does Pisces need to know during this new moon in Pisces? 9 of Pentacles and the Fool. Wow, this is like a free flight journey, which I'm not surprised, honestly. This is very much a Piscean journey. Maybe not the 9 of Pentacles as much. The Fool definitely, to me, speaks to that freedom. Water signs also known, and Pisces especially, with not having structure, with being very much, you know, like the liquid that takes up all the space that it has, right? That idea. And this is a water sign, so idea of like it just goes everywhere, you know. Sometimes it's hard to ground the energy, right, or to lock in on something because it just spreads out, right? And but there is certain freedom in it. So at this time you're invited to thrive in it and to really make it a fun adventure for yourself. See who you are in this, meet yourself in this space, and just go with the instinct, go with the flow. Don't think strategy or, you know, is this gonna be a good ROI for me, you know, is this a good spending of my time? No, this is like understanding, experimenting more, being curious about your life, being untethered as much as possible. So you're not saying like, ideally I would want to go here and do this tonight, but I have all these responsibilities, so I'm sorry I can't, right? Like, this is a no-no. If you are guided into a certain direction, if you're attracted to it, go for it, right? And that's how you understand better who you are, what you want, what kind of lifestyle you'd like to create for yourself. All right. So that was Pisces. Next, we'll go to Aries. What does Aries need to know during this new moon in Pisces? 2 of Swords, clarified by Ace of Swords. Yeah, so don't be overly dramatic and don't complicate the situation, right? Just, I don't want to say follow the guidance because it seems a little outside of the Swords discipline, right? Swords are still about thoughts, thought form, right? But thought form can also come from the subconscious. And to me, especially in this deck, Ace of Swords is a lot more about tapping into your subconscious, or something that has been repressed or somehow forgotten, right? The old memories or hobbies or passions, right? And that should be your guide, not different opinions or even maybe official sources of information that you're using for research to make a decision. That's what keeps you in the analysis paralysis, right? That's not a friend of yours right now, right? You can take that into account, but make your decision based on your gut feel and based on, you know, what feels natural to you. And I'm sure you can find all kinds of exercises online where, you know, how there is this exercise that like if somebody is asking you rapid fire questions and you're answering, you don't tap into that logical side of your brain, but you're answering instinctively. I think you do it on Friends at the very end when Phoebe's trying to understand. I mean, they do it in different combinations, but the most prominent one is when Phoebe's trying to understand whether Ross wants to follow Rachel to the airport, right? And they do this game. So that's one of the ideas of like, how do you bypass that logical side that keeps you trapped, that maybe keeps you just like circling over and over or spinning out between different options and not being able to make a decision, right? And like you can do automatic writing. That's another good way, especially if you set a goal or an intention, and write out everything that comes to mind without any judgments. Just keep writing without stopping. Like, you know, you'll feel when you're done, but don't think about how do I put this into words. Just write whatever comes out, right? All these different ways of getting to the surface those subconscious thoughts, ideas, and memories that are important right now. And that, by the way, is very much a, you know, Piscean vibe in the air. Okay, next we go to Taurus. What does Taurus need to know? Oh my God, you saw me shuffling. Two of Swords again. But we have Four of Cups here to clarify. Yeah, so for Taurus, the analysis paralysis is caused by the coulda, woulda, shoulda. Now, I've wasted too much time and I lost this opportunity, or, you know, if I wasn't as stubborn, I could have done better now. But now I'm in this situation and it's difficult and I can't make a decision because it seems like there's no win-win, right? It's more of like, what is the lesser evil here? But that's your perception, that's the story you're telling yourself, right? And again, this is a collective reading, so of course I won't be able to tap into each scenario, but try to not focus too much into like, I'm forced to make a decision, right? And go back into like, what do I want to create? What is important to me? And then this answer will emerge. What am I supposed to choose right now? What direction to go into? Or even, you know, for some of you could be choosing between two different people, like maybe partners, you know. The answer will emerge, but don't try to dig your heels into deciding like in that specific direction, right? Take a step back and just focus on what is important right now, and then you'll see which option actually aligns with that. Okay, that was good. Two of Swords is not my favorite card, so I don't really like seeing it, but what can you do? I think in this deck it's a very interesting symbolism, right? For those pesky thoughts being represented by ravens. Okay, next we'll go to Gemini. What does Gemini need to know right now? Are you kidding me? Two of Swords, clarified by Seven of Wands. But you see, that's also how the same card can have different shades of meaning based on the context and on the clarifying card. So for you, you want to do what's best for you, for your family, for your inner circle. But again, it's hard to decide, right? There are all these thoughts coming in, or concerns or doubts, maybe the news that you're listening to, watching, right? And you're like, at one moment, I feel like I should go this way, or this is how I, you know, spend the resources or protect myself and my family. Another moment I understand that maybe that's not a great idea because things are changing so fast, or this expert is saying that this is not gonna work. It seems like a good idea, but it's not gonna work in practice, right? So maybe I shouldn't. And again, it keeps you a little stuck. And Gemini is an air sign, so this is your vibe, you know. Gemini does the investigation, does the homework, and then when they have a lot of information, it gets difficult to make that decision, right? Sometimes, not always, of course. But what Pisces energy would say here is it is important to align what you're doing with your legacy, I'm hearing actually, with your lineage, all right, with what your story is, what story you're trying to tell, especially if you're also looking out for a family, which could be generations before you, generations after you, right, like your children. You know, what are you telling them with these choices that you're making, right? Does that align with overall philosophy and belief system that you're holding near and dear and you want to pass on to them. Ask yourself some of those questions with your options and you'll get the answer. Seems like quite a few people on the precipice of some decision making. Which of course, as we're about to step into the Aries season, is pretty fitting. But anyway, next we go to Cancer. What does Cancer need to know for this new moon in Pisces? We have 5 of Wands, clarified by 3 of Cups. Wow. So it's like both of these are about community and people around you. But it's like it can go either way. It can be a beautiful community time, you know, like your people finding your soul family and really celebrating life, or it can be them getting you in your head with a lot of either confronting ideas or triggering you with some of the judgment, some of the prejudice and assumptions that people make, right? You start telling them what's up with you if you're meeting up after a long time, and suddenly the conversation goes into completely different direction that you assumed, because they're starting to share their thoughts and visions on that topic, and it kind of like it immediately blocks the flow, right? So there's nothing to be anxious about here. This is one of the tells of how you see which people are in alignment with your current journey and which aren't. Of course, if it's an immediate reaction, just like based on personal experience, and you can course correct and they'll adjust and they're like, okay, it looks like you're serious about it, or as long as it makes sense to you, you know, we're happy for your choices. Great. But if they keep insisting on something else, or keep telling you stuff like, you know, you should wait a while with this, or, you know, maybe ask some more opinions, or even specifically tell you what to do and somehow judge your actions. This could be that red flag that tells you that maybe those are not my people. I thought so until we got into a more sensitive point, or something from a higher alignment from my next phase of the journey. And now I can see that maybe for this next phase, this is not a good company for me. They are not going to be lifting me up. They're going to be bringing me down. And it doesn't necessarily happen by choice, you know, consciously. A lot of times it happens subconsciously, but that's just how the energy works. If the levels are different, the vibration is different, there will be that push to neutralize, right? And to bring it to a common denominator, which for people of higher energy always feels like draining energy. Okay, next we go to Leo. What does Leo need to know for this new moon in Pisces? We have the 6 of Wands, beautiful energy, very much Leo, and the Wheel of Fortune. Wow, this is so beautiful. So there's definitely this destined moment coming in for you to show yourself, to show who you really are. But the test from the universe here is how much of yourself are you willing to share. Leo's like thrives at this point of, you know, they'll almost said limelight, I don't know why. The spotlight, the stage, the public, right? This is what they want, to be seen that way, quite directly. But a lot of times we get anxious and we get stressed over what are people gonna think, you know, how they're gonna see myself, or what kind of image they're gonna get, especially if you're only getting started, right? It's like this will be their main impression and they're just gonna run with it. It's gonna be hard to change it after that. Right? Whatever those thoughts are, it's important to work through them. And the universe is going to bring you these experiences, so you don't have to look for the opportunity. But you need to be ready to be your most authentic self, right? In a good way, right? I don't mean, you know, when on your bed, like the way you are on your bad day, right? You can still get ready and you can do your grounding techniques, your mindfulness practice to be on your best energy, right? But do not compromise on your truth, your message, your vibe, your voice. Very important, Leo. I love it. But definitely looks like whatever your goals and intentions were, the universe is answering yes, and is giving you those opportunities. Now it's like are you ready for it? When it really, the push comes to shove, so to speak. Next we go to Virgo. So Virgo got the High Priestess, which is Pisces energy, actually clarified by the Emperor. Wow. Aries. Two major arcanas. So for you, there's definitely going to be a shift in belief system. And it's actually, there's no surprise here because Virgo is on the same axis with Pisces, but it's the opposite sign. And usually if we go deeper into the natal chart and impacts, a lot of times we also look at the opposite sign and they're impacted because it's the same axis, right? But for Virgo, Pisces is the opposite energy. This is like unhooking your brain and your habits and going with something that feels like an illusion sometimes, like a dream, you know. It's like that state of changed consciousness when, I don't know, for some people it's when they're under some kind of substances, for other people when they're in this meditative state, maybe doing an ecstatic dance, maybe some other ritual that brings them into that state, and really flowing with it, really experiencing yourself. What is the message to the universe during this time that you want to share? Maybe during a prayer too, if you're a religious person and you do have your rituals that way, right? That's part of it too. So it's important to be receptive to what the messages are, because both of these are major arcana, so you will get new messages on the structure, the leadership, the dynamics, right? And how to reach your goals, how to become successful, how to get grasp on your life and really feel like you're in control, right? You will get those experiences, but it's important to pay attention and to be open to suggestions. Not just go declaratively with like, this is how I do things in these cases, right? So I'm just gonna go with my habit. This is challenging your habit, right? And allowing you to expand to the new level with something more profound that will give you better opportunities in life with where you want to go and more authority of your own life. Okay, that was Virgo. Next, Libra. Page of Cups, nice. Clarified by King of Pentacles, very different energy. But what I'm getting for you, Libra, is even if you have the King of Pentacles in mind, which is, you know, success in society, reaching a certain public status, maybe a promotion, right? Becoming more successful with your business, with the abundance, maybe with other resources. I don't know, maybe you want to do better with time management, right? And free up more time for your hobbies. That could also be that. The King of Pentacles, though, is the master, right? It's that level of success when you acknowledge, like, I made it. I'm the king of this, right? I got this. Right now, it may feel a little bit like this is just too far, right? And maybe I won't have enough energy or stamina or time to reach it. But don't get too hung up on this vision and, you know, how challenging or scary it seems, right? It's important to start going out of your comfort zone in things that you're trying in life, especially when it gets tricky emotionally, when you get anxious, when it becomes triggering, right? Flow with it, dive into it. And again, this is water energy we're talking about right now, right? Like maybe swim in it symbolically. The more you relax into it and you show curiosity and you're open to what is going to happen, the more beneficial, the more fruitful, the more positive the outcome is going to be for you, right? Rather than if you're trying to swim up the stream or, you know, just try and go with exactly what you've been doing before, even if it doesn't seem like a good idea, but that's what you know, so that's what you're going for. Like, this is taking you out of the comfort zone. This is the flying pig here, by the way, right? The Page of Cups in this deck is a lot about believing in magic, right? Believing that maybe you didn't see the whole picture. It's like a matrix concept, really, right? There's a whole other reality out there that you just didn't know about. But now your eyes are being opened. So why not listen? Why not learn from it? All right, next we go with Scorpio. Queen of Pentacles with Scorpio. Clarified by Page of Swords. Okay. Okay, so Scorpio, for you, this could be another person that will be an inspiration, that would be enlightening to you with their messages, with what they can teach you, even with their lifestyle. So it can be specifically like a training that they do, that you're invited to join, and this is a great idea. This is a confirmation that you should do it. Or it could be just maybe an influencer on Instagram, maybe just somebody who you know in real life, but they're an amazing person as they are, and by sharing their stories, their experience, they're already inspiring you and giving you a lot of ideas, right? And this is the time to take them in. It may feel a little, I don't know, a little threatening. You may feel a little jealous, right? Or maybe a little like think a little less of yourself because you're not there, or I don't know. We always compare ourselves to other people, right? Like that person didn't have as much financial background as I did, and look at them, how much more successful they are, or I don't know, how happy they are in their family life, and they had a lot of trauma growing up, or something like that, you know? Don't compare, focus on the lessons that you can learn, on that momentum, on that energy that takes you. It's like a surf, you know, that you surf that wave that can take you to the next level in your own story and help you become more masterful in the life that you create, the family that you set up, the home, right? And the business. The Queen of Pentacles is all of that. It's just as opposed to Queen of Pentacles, as opposed to King of Pentacles that we just saw in the previous sign. The Queen is more about taking care and setting things up and holding space more than going and getting it, right? It's more of like, yes, I'm creating a place of comfort, peace, you know, home, something that's very comfortable, things like that. Next, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we have Five of Cups, clarified by the Fool. Nice. I love seeing the Fool, especially for new moon energy. This is so beautiful. This is like the universe is telling you that there's so much of the new stuff that you're going to experience if you're open to it, right? Again, don't think too much of the mistakes you've made in the past, or people you've lost, or opportunities that somehow you didn't get, you know, whether because of your choices or you were not chosen by someone, right? It's time to put this behind you, right? It's time to get excited for what's ahead and to trust. And that's the most difficult part, I think, between, you know, like the trauma that we experienced in the past, or the stress or the pain, however you want to call it, and being open and being trusting and being excited for something, enthusiastic for the new story to begin, right? If that was a person who left your life one way or the other, right? It's like believing that there will be another person that could be a great partner to you, and maybe even better, right? Because you are now in a different energy. You've learned a lot. You become more wise, I don't know, more informed, maybe more heart opened. It's your heart being more opened. I don't know. You got the point, right? And now you're ready for something deeper, bigger, and better. And that should be your take on life right now. A lot of the closure, if you're thinking how do I get the closure, is connected to forgiveness. Forgiveness to that person, to yourself. And you can again look up different rituals for that. If you go through the playlist of my podcast, which the link is in the description box, there is at least one episode on forgiveness, and I give you different techniques of how you can work with that and find that closure for yourself. Next, Capricorn. Eight of Cups, Nine of Swords. Wow. Yeah, walking away from something familiar can be scary. Very much so, right? Because even if we know that it's not good for us, or we outgrew it, or, you know, we deserve better, it's the comfort zone. It's something that we know that our psyche is familiar with and has learned to live with, has adopted in some way, right? And it can be very frightening to just say no to that, or to say goodbye to someone who you feel you've already outgrown and they don't match that path that you're walking right now, right? So with this card, the Nine of Swords can be like that voice in your head telling you, are you sure? Are you sure you want to leave this person or this job or this opportunity behind? Or, you know, stop going with this coping mechanism. It's worked pretty well, you know, we're quite happy here, right? It's important to have that courage to walk away from it so that you open up yourself to something bigger and better and healthier, if anything. That's the word that I'm getting for Capricorn, something much, much healthier for you. Like you've adapted yourself to that reality with that person, context, situation, and that's fine. And it was a learning experience and it was important somehow. But now you can move on. You've learned everything you had to learn from it. Okay, next we go to Aquarius, and that is the last sign on this reading. So let's see, we have Page of Swords, clarified by Two of Swords. Nowhere to go from Two of Swords. I mean, you see me doing the shuffling every time, and this is like the fourth time we've seen Two of Swords. But it also is fitting because it means that there is that common theme in the collective, right? We saw one of the themes here was enlightenment. And that's the opposite reality from the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is being confused, is not understanding where is the truth. Is it here? Is it there? Should I listen to this person or to this source of information? And then there comes enlightenment, right? And that's what we strive for, and that's what we are looking for, the answers, right? This is the learning process here with Page of Swords. Learning and finding answers is the name of the game, but don't be surprised if this is not the answer that you were thinking about, or it's gonna revolutionize the way that you see your life from now on. For Aquarius, again, it's very fitting, right? You are about that global view, about global impact, and so why not redefine your lifestyle, redefine how you see relationships, communication? Why not try something different? You know, sometimes it's the best way. If you don't know which way is right out of two or more options, just do something different, see what happens, experiment a little, right? Okay, beautiful. I am gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and until next time, bye.